Okay, well, let's kick this pig. Hello, folks. Welcome to one of the only vape shows that starts on time every time. Let me get my chat popped out here. That over here. And of course, we got to tell it live chat because it just will not uh, default to that for some reason. It's a YouTube conspiracy. How about that? I can go with that. I can go with that. And there's Adrian. How you doing, buddy? I think one of these days I'm going to go in and see if I've got enough computer and enough bandwidth, which I don't have much, but there's some settings in there where I can cut down on the delay between the live feed and the chat. Well, or put it this way, a delay between me and what's showing up on YouTube. So we won't have quite as much delay. I'm gonna see if I can adjust that and see if it doesn't, if it doesn't hurt anything, if it doesn't kill my video quality or anything like that. I don't think it will. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. I don't do a lot of research on this kind of stuff. I just kind of wing it. And there's Andrew. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming by. And thanks for, I believe both of y'all showed up to my premiere, I think. Thanks for showing up to that. That was kind of neat. It was all new to me. Never had done one before. I think I'll do all my reviews that way nowadays. And there's Neil. How you doing, buddy? Neil is our resident Boro expert. But the the premiere was kind of a neat little thing. I enjoyed it, and I don't know if it's hard. It's real hard on text to convey humor and what's the word I'm looking for? Emotion, to a degree. I mean, it's hard, but I had fun poking fun at myself. I thought I enjoyed the hell out of it. I really did. And I'm not one of these hypocritical persons, regardless of what people say about me. I will criticize myself probably more than I criticize other people. I mean, I will critique myself more than I do a lot of other people. So I'm not really, I guess I don't know if hypocritical is the right word or not, but I would be the first to poke fun at myself, and I had fun doing that while we were watching the premiere. And like I say, I think I'll do all my review videos that way from now on. I really enjoyed that. It was fun. And now I got to credit the first one, and I I've always seen the little click button that when you're setting all your stuff up, it says, Premiere or set as instant Premiere, or, that kind of deal. Just never had paid any mind to it. I just always, once I got everything uploaded and got the titles and all, like I wanted it to the right thumbnail and everything, got everything right, then I changed it from private to public. And that's all I did, and just save it. And, it's instantly available. That's the way I used to do it, But I got to give credit to Craig and Kenny, because I'm surfing YouTube one day, and there pops up one of their a review, and of course it said Premiere, and okay, I really didn't quite grasp what that was telling me, so I clicked on it, and up pops this chat window, and I'm going, well, this is new, So then I kind of thought at first that it was just it was a live review, okay? So, but then I realized as I was watching the chat and participating in this, that, and other, that it was a pre-recorded deal, and they were premiering it, and that's what happens when you got to premiere it. And the reason, now I sound like Vic, I'm repeating myself. I hadn't discovered this before, is because 90% of my YouTube viewing is on my TV. And as me and Adrian know now, chat is no longer available on that. So if you click on a premiere on your TV only, you don't know there's a chat window available, or you don't even know the chat's available. So I was in the dark. And I think on Craig and Kenny's, I just happened to click it. I was on my phone and I clicked it. And like I say, up pops all this stuff, and I'm going, oh, well, that's neat. So anyhow, theirs was the first one I realized when I realized what the hell was going on. And I said, well, I'm going to try this out. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I think I'll do all mine, if I have time, all the rest of my reviews that way. Looks like we're dropping a few frames today. Yeah, good old internet out here in the middle of the desert. Yeah, Neil, I kind of do the same thing if it's a show I want to participate in the chat, I'll watch it on the TV and I'll chat on my phone. I use my phone. I don't use a pad. Yeah, Andrew, I actually did it same time. For me, same time for me and y'all. It was yesterday. Yesterday. So it won't be a Wednesday. It'll be a different day of the week, but same time frame for everybody, because that time frame seems to work out pretty good for the people in the UK, and even I know it's early morning down in Australia, but they can really have a coffee with me, So because most people that actually work for a living, get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe 7 at the latest. So putting a live on at 9 o'clock in the morning and hoping people will watch it before they go to work, didn't make a lot of sense. Yes, I do, Neil. And in fact, I checked my tracking earlier today, and my Innova tank and my kind of new dwarf, the facelift dwarf, of course, clones, both of them clones, they're actually in Vegas right now, and they should be here tomorrow. Normally, that's the time frame, So they have made it to Vegas, and they should be, in my P.O. box tomorrow, so we will get them tomorrow afternoon and start playing with them. The dwarf, I'm not that excited about it. I mean, it was cheap. Of course, it's a clone. It's cheap. It's got 11 different damn air pins in it, and an easier deck to build on than my original. That's the only reason I bought it, because I dusted off the original here a while back and put a decent coil in it, and damn, this is damn good vape. What the hell was it doing on the shelf? You know, one of those things. I've had that happen a lot lately. You know, because a lot of that stuff's been sitting up there for so many years that when I tried it out, I just put a little pissy round wire coil in it, and I mean, yeah, it vaped. It was okay, but it wasn't nothing to write home about, you know. And so, no, I'm on the other side of the country, Adrian. I'm like, 2,000. Yeah, you realize? No, I'm thousands of miles away from that. Now, the last hurricane actually did mess with me indirectly. The last little, I don't even know if it ended up ever becoming a hurricane or not, but the one over here on this side, named after our good Hillary bitch, you know, it put in Vegas. It rained a lot, and the internet provider, that is my internet provider's internet provider, building flooded. So I was out for a couple of days till they got all that shit fixed. So indirectly, that hurricane messed with me. Far as locally, no. I mean, it barely sprinkled any rain on my house. So, yeah, that's the one. Well, I didn't get the FL. Neil, mine's real old, first model, I guess. But it did come with, hell, the tube was that long. You know, it had, like you say, it had like 3 tanks, and it had a nice selection of pins in it. I don't remember how many. It was quite a few. Now, the ones that one of the reasons I ordered this new one. And there's Josh. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for dropping by. The reason I ordered this new one, it had some pins that had multiple holes. They'd have 2 or 3, or maybe even more, little bitty holes. And those what caught my eye. Those are the ones I want to try. My original one didn't have that kind of airflow pins. It had a good selection, which, I mean, it had, I don't know, 5, 6 bunch, a whole sack full, but they all were just single holes. And this new one, it's got supposed to have multiple holes in it. Yeah, and it was cheap. I don't think mine was that cheap. I think mine was like, the one I got coming, I think was like maybe $18. That's what I'm thinking. And I hope everybody watched Josh's latest review on his, what was the name of it? Hussar, however you want to say that. And there's Anthony. How you doing, buddy? I hope you're on the right side of Florida down there and not getting any damage. Now, I do have a question, Josh. 2 questions, actually, on that new tank, the one you just did the review for. Now, am I right in assuming that when you're turning on or off the airflow, the juice flow. I'm sorry, the juice flow. When you're turning the juice flow on and off, are you actually just rotating the tank on the O-rings, sealing the tank? Is that actually what's happening there when you turn the juice flow on and off? Are you just rotating the whole tank on its sealing O-rings? Adrian, I'm telling you, buddy, you need to try. Well, I don't know. You might not can get it. Uh, where is it? If you can get it, and I don't know if you can over there in the UK, but if you can get it, you really need to try this RY Forever. I think if you like the double, I've never had the double, but this is. You can ask Josh. He tried it. If you can get this, Flavor Jungle, it's a one shot. If you can get this, give it a try. I really think you might like it. Yeah, I understood that part, Josh, that about the little tabs and just covering the holes. I understood that. It was just on the video. I thought correctly, I guess the video is kind of deceiving because it looks like in the video, and I've even watched Todd's video on it too. When you got it on the camera and you turn, it's just so hard to see because it's clear, I guess. It looks like that very bottom section of the tank where the O-ring is, where it seals at the very bottom. It looks like it's staying still, and the top portion of the tank where the little, I guess you'd call it knurling or whatever, the little things, it looks like that turns, and I understood the part about the little tabs covering up the holes, but on the video, and it's both the same, yours and Todd's, it's just a little deceiving because it appears that the very bottom part of that tank stays motionless. And when you turn it, you're just turning the top part like it's a two-piece deal. That's why I asked you if it was two-piece. And the top part with the tabs are rotating and the bottom part stays stuck to the O-ring. That was the reason I was asking all that. And there's JT. How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming in today. Adrian, my best, of course, my palate it's about as hillbilly as you can get. And to me, it tastes like caramel popcorn. That's all I can tell you. That's what it tastes like to me. And of course, I like caramel popcorn, so we get along well. But if somebody asked me to describe the flavor profile, it's caramel popcorn. Well, sir, do you taste any tobacco in it? Nope. Do you taste this or that? Nope. I taste caramel popcorn. Yeah, the whole tank moves. Well, that's not it's kind of a unique design on that, I think, or a different way of thinking, you might say, on the juice flow control. But it's not totally out of the realm because those old K-funds, it was an internal O-ring set of O-rings, but or just one on the bottom. But you were turning the whole tank and the whole assembly, turning off the juice flow and then turn it back on, and it was rotating on just sealing on an O-ring. So it's a little it's kind of similar to that, but it's kind of a new idea of having the whole tank whole exterior deal just turn and turn the juice flow off. And there's Mick. How you doing, Mick? Thanks for joining us, brother. Hope you're having a good morning. My K-Fun-X is a 24, Neil. And I didn't pick 24 for any particular reason. It was just, of course, it was a clone. And at that point in time, I had 3 to pick from on 3F. And 2 of them were well-known cloners. The one I picked was totally, they didn't tell you who made it. It was an absolute, in the dark clone. And I just wanted to give it a try to see if it was any good. And it turned out it was great. You're really rolling a dice on that because, SXK has one and their shit's usually pretty high quality. So I was really rolling the dice. I don't guess I've heard of that one, Mick. I don't see a benefit unless you need it to fit a side by side. As far as going 22, because I'll bet good money right now. The deck is identical, chamber's going to be identical. It's just going to be how much juice it's going to hold is probably about the only thing going to be different on a 22 versus the 24. All right, Josh. See, y'all get a lot of stuff, Mick, we don't never get, and a lot of that stuff never gets released in the U.S. And if you don't do if you don't start really watching a lot of non-English speaking channels, hell, you don't know nothing about them. And there's Comac. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming by today. But we don't get a lot of those. And it's like that Stigmata RTA. I just stumbled across a video about it. And, but it never was released. It wasn't given to Team Free Shit. So, a lot of times if something ain't given to Team Free Shit, we hardly know anything about it over here in the U.S. unless you really do a lot of surfing and looking at, like I say, non-English speaking channels. Let me write that down while I got it fresh. I want to look at it anyhow. Now that one, Josh did a deal for that Hoosier. If they come out with a clone, which they're likely to do, I might look at that. I might look at it. If it's reasonably priced, I might pick one of those up once the clone comes out. Comac, right now on this one, it should be what you see me vape mostly today is the RY4 Ever one shot. RY4 Ever, and that the reason you'll normally see me vaping these in my live because I normally have a cup of coffee with me, and this pairs extremely well. In other words, in fact, anytime I'm drinking coffee, this is what I'm vaping. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's just these are I could duct tape these together, because it pairs so well. See, Mick, the only reason I watch any Jay's videos is just to watch. I can turn the sound off And I just want to see the device, which is, a benefit to a lot of if you're watching, you want to see some new stuff. A lot of these videos I watch, I'll turn it's the non-English speaking, and I'll turn the sound off. I'll mute it, and because I just want to see the device. I want to see them take it apart, and see how they build it, how they wicked it, and I can do without the audio for that. What kind is this flavor? Creamy sweet something. Oh, you talking about what I'm vaping? This is I was telling everybody a while ago. If you ask me what this tastes like, I'd say caramel popcorn. That's what I get out of it. I don't get any tobacco. Of course, I sweeten the hell out of it when I mix it, but caramel popcorn, to me, that's what I get. Well, JT, if you'll go back and watch my original video on this K-Fun X. Of course, I can't put a link to it, but you can look at the box because they cloned the box too. I mean, these people that made this one, they went the whole 9-yard clone deal. I mean, they cloned the box, they cloned it, they cloned everything. And if you'll search, if you look through 3F and you find the one, they've got several K-Fun X's. And if you find the one that's in the cloned box, which looks like the original's box, then to make sure you're getting the same one I got if you want. Now, the rest of them are probably fine. They're all probably fine. But if you want to get the same one I got, to know if you're getting that one, just scroll down, because that's one of the few items on 3F that I actually linked the review to. I link, so if it says review, you scroll down, you'll see a link to my review video. And but the other ones are probably just fine, because I think Net Vapor did one on the SXK version, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but that's probably theoretically it should be a higher quality one than the one I got, because they're kind of fairly well known for high quality clones. So yeah, Neil, it's amazing. PayPal got all up on their high horse. What was it, years ago, a year or more ago, about not letting you buy vape shit with PayPal, and now there's several companies out there that it's like that. I mean, it's damn vapes. Could you infer from that company name that it's anything but vaping? But yet they oh yeah, we'll do PayPal now. Or PayPal will let us do it now. So yeah, it's just a house mix, Andrew. And I've found, I'm batting about 70% the house one-shots, the house mix one-shots from Flavor Jungle. About 70% of the ones I've tried are good. There were a few that I didn't care for. And of course, it could have just been my taste, but there were a few that I didn't care for. But at the moment, I'm batting about 70% of the ones I've tried from there I like. Now, Andrew, does Flavor Jungle not ship to the UK? Yep, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's a Meatloaf song. I almost know the words to it. See, I don't know how many of the places over here uh, ship to the UK. I would think they might, though. I don't know. Probably cost an arm and a leg. uh, oh, Comac right now, it is 1:30 in the afternoon. 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. And but I'm not in Texas, I'm in Arizona. In Texas, it would be about 3:30 in the afternoon. My accent is Texan, but I live in Arizona. But if I was in Texas right now, they're at this at this time of year, they are 2 hours behind me. Now, when the rest of the country, besides Arizona, goes back to normal time, they'll only be 1 hour behind me because Arizona does not do daylight savings time. There's a couple of other states that don't either. Now, the rest of the whole damn country does the daylight savings time bullshit. Arizona don't. They said, no, we're not doing that. Fuck y'all. Do something about it. So at certain times of the year, during the summer months, you might say, we're on the same time as Pacific, as the people in California on the West Coast. So because they change their time and it matches our time, basically, that's what happens. And it gets confusing as hell. Yeah, Neil, you would be the same as if you were Texas and Arkansas, Louisiana. I think they're all in the same central time zone, if I remember right. Well, good. They shipped to the UK. God knows how much it'd be, but make sure you buy enough. Their house one shots in their house juice. Now, I've got several of their house flavors that I have no complaints with at all. See, the neat thing about Mick, it ain't just he's in a different time zone. Okay, he's in a different day. It's a different day for him. It ain't even the same day as for us. And I get confused over the goddamn time zone. Hell, he's already bumped up to the next day. It used to be a pain in the ass, or it used to be back when we went to the casinos a lot, because just over in the next valley, you might say, it's only like 30 miles to the Nevada border, the state of Nevada border, and that's where the casinos are. It's Colorado River, the one that runs through the Grand Canyon. That's the state line at that particular point on the map, and the state line, the river, and the state line is what decides the time zone. So on this side of the bridge, it's 3:00. On the other side of the bridge, it's 2:00. So if you had something planned at the casino, like you had to be there at a certain time, you had to realize if you were doing Nevada time or Arizona time, and you had to, constantly make that calculation. But you had to make that, always make that damn calculation. I never will forget, we went to a Kiss concert, and we forgot to make that calculation. And we get down there, and, you know, it's not a whole bunch of people, you know. And we had like, I don't know, third or fourth row center stage seats. They were all free. They were comped by the casino. And we find our seats. We sit down. We're looking around. You know, and this is a Kiss concert. It's like, what the hell? You know? And then I looked at my watch, and it clicked. Well, hell, I was a whole damn hour early. No wonder there wasn't nobody there yet, you know? But, yeah, we forgot to make the deal. The neat thing was, you wouldn't be late. You would be early. You would always be early. If you didn't make the conversion, you know, you would just be an hour early. You wouldn't be an hour late. So it was, you know, you didn't miss anything. So it wasn't too bad. Yeah, Adrian, it makes me wonder what they used to do before they invented all that shit. As you know, there used to be something or nothing. At one point in time, there had to be nothing. Of course, maybe when they first invented actual clocks, they, you know, maybe come up with that at the same time. I don't know. I don't know the history on it. Anyhow, I did make a list of topics today. I didn't want to be like Fagin and just instantly dive off into the gutter. But you know, and this is, I've had a lot of people, a lot of comments, you might say, people wanting information about DIY juice, and a lot of people, beginners. There's still beginners out there. You know, everything. I mean, what I tell you today is going to seem redundant or seem old, but there's a lot of people out there that hadn't heard this. So the other day, I finally got around to cleaning out my flavor shelf where I keep my flavorings, and I was throwing shit away left and right. I mean, if it was, you know, if it was old, because a lot of it was way old, and it was dark, it got pitched. Okay, and got it thinned down quite a bit. Got rid of all the shit that had went real dark, and throwed it all out. So when I was doing all this, I was deciding what to keep, what to throw away. Well, I ran across some cherry, and I had two different ones. I had one from, I think Flavor Art, and then I had one from TFA, and TFA's was cherry extract, and they had both been up there for years, but they were still crystal clear. And I said, well, you know, I like cherry, and these are still crystal clear, so I'm not going to throw them away. So I went through them all. Well, when I got done, I said, now, I really want to see if I did the right thing and not throwing that cherry away. So what I did, I mixed me up just a cherry juice. But now I mixed the hell out of it, okay? I put 15% cherry flavor, about 8% super sweet, because I like my shit sweet. And I've got it right here in this one. It's a hell of a vape. Hell, I done went through 60 mils. Simple, one flavor juice, you know? But it's great. And it's like, what the hell? You know, but we get lost in the weeds. A lot of the DIYers, they get lost in the weeds, and they think they got to have an 8 or 10 ingredient recipe. You know, now if you got one and you really like it, good for you. Go for it. Keep mixing it. Hell, no problem. But for the new folks out there, you don't have to have an 8-ingredient recipe. This is cherry and super sweet. That's all. And it tastes like a cherry lifesaver. And yeah, I liked cherry lifesavers. You know? So it's like, it's like you can get lost in the weeds real quick, DIY and getting these complicated ass recipes, when you sometimes you just don't need all that. Yeah, I saw that, Neil. I saw it on Fagan brought it up first on a different show. I don't remember what show it was. About those disposable borrow tanks. I don't know. I mean, I won't be buying them, but somebody might. But yeah, this is a damn good vape, single flavor. She's like, what the hell? I was lost in the weeds. I can see that working. Well, I can kind of see that working, Neil, a little better than some people could, because there are some inexpensive Boro devices now. That Kuka, I don't have one, but I'm assuming since it's all plastic and not 3D printed out of gold, that it's probably fairly reasonably priced. And so, the younger generation can probably readily more, afford something like that. Of course, there again, they had a good point. They brought up, well, then they're going to have to buy batteries. Of course, the little model charge them if you want to go that route. But so, you got to buy batteries. But, now see, Neil, I like straight pomegranate, just pomegranate and sweetener. I'm not a big fan of the papaya or the guava or even the kiwi. And I thought I like kiwis, real ones, but they just, for me, didn't work in a juice. But any of those type fruits don't do good in a juice for me, and that's a personal preference still. I guarantee it is. But I do like just straight pomegranate, regular straight pomegranate, some sweetener. Shit, I'm good to go. But anyhow, now we did stumble across a really weird situation, and some of the beginner DIYers might need to know this. Okay, so I mix up this juice. It's great. I love it. I'll let my wife try it. I said, here, try this. I just mixed it up. Of course, it made her cough because she vapes 14. I vape. This was mixed at 20. Mine's usually either 20, 24, somewhere in that range. Made her cough. We didn't think nothing about it, because anytime she picks up one of my devices, it makes her cough. Didn't think a lot about it. She says, wow, I really like that flavor. So I mixed her up some at 14. And it still made her cough. Bad. I mean, bad cough. So I said, well, let's check this out. So I went to remixing, and I first brought the level down of everything, the flavoring, sweetener. Nick brought all those levels down, still made her cough. Okay. So I mixed up some with absolutely no nicotine in it. Still made her cough. It's probably the flavoring. And I just happened to have some 18 milligram plain nic mixed up. Just 18 milligram PGVG, nothing else. Let her try that. She didn't cough a bit. So she can't vape the cherry. And I'm thinking that this cherry might have been like a real extract type stuff and not totally artificial. Not sure on that. But anyhow, she can't vape the cherry flavor. So last night I mixed her up some lemon. So she likes lemon desserts, you know. She prefers them over almost any other flavor when she, you know, does a dessert thing. So yeah, I mixed her up some lemon and worked just fine. Loved it. Just lemon. Of course, it was 2 lemons, 2 lemon flavoring mixed together and a little sweetener. She's happy she can be. But she can't vape the cherry. So you may run into flavors out there that you absolutely can't vape, you know. Damn, Neil, that's a little steep for plastic. $59 with no. Do you get a tank with it? I'll have to check that out. See what they got. I don't know. I didn't look at it. I hadn't looked at it yet on 3F. If you get a tank and some coils, that wouldn't be too bad. And skip the RBA, but that's a little too much. Now I'm comparing that to the original Pulse, because they gave you a whole box of shit. Whether it was, I mean, you know, whether or not it was junk or not is beside the point. They give you a whole box of stuff for about that price, if I remember right. You know, now, whether or not everything was in the box was junk or not is debatable, but at least they gave you a whole box full of shit for your money. That's on the old original one. But anyhow, now we got our shelf cleaned up. I cleaned up some other things and I did away with a lot of the duplicate boxes, because I like to keep the box of, let's say, a mod or a tank, if it comes in a box, because that's where I keep all the spares, you know, and I know what tank it goes to. But I had several that I had bought duplicates of, you know, 2 or 3 of. And so I put all the spares in one box, throw all the rest of the boxes away. And got quite a bit of extra room now. Got my wires situated on a different shelf so I can get to my wires readily. Oh, I understand, Adrian. ABS is one of the better plastics. But what I look at when it comes to that is the manufacturing process. You know, they can, it's just cheaper to manufacture. Mercy. A molded, I'm assuming those were molded, probably injected molding, whatever you call it, in, you know, plastic. Is what I assume, how I assume those were probably made. And that's, you know, you got the expense of the mold. And so it's just cheaper to manufacture them that way. But I ain't got nothing against plastic. Plastic. Hell, this is the old ass taggers from Smo-Ant. Hell, it's 100%. I don't know, plastic. Of course, I hadn't dropped it. I had it for years. Paid $20 for it. Works perfectly. Still works. But I hadn't dropped it, you know. I wish I had 5 of them sitting on the shelf. I really do. Now I don't know the price. I did see somebody did a video on that War Dual 21700 mod. I might be interested in one of those if the price is decent. And I'm thinking it had a plastic frame, or most of the frame was plastic on it. I'm not sure, but I ain't got nothing against plastic. What I got against is the price discrepancy between injected molded stuff and 3D printed stuff. That's where I have a hiccup. I just don't see that big a price difference, because to me the base material is still real, if not the same, real similar. Because I do know for a fact you can 3D print ABS. You know, but now we can all agree. Well, I don't know. You know, all the cracking problems they had with that first pulse. You know, some people blamed it on the plastic, and some people blamed it on the way it was designed, because they were basically asking the plastic to do too much. And that's kind of what you got from it, because when they supposedly fixed the problem, you know, they put little metal inserts here and there, little metal braces, you know, to help the plastic out. So, you know, maybe they were asking too much of the plastic. I know my black one, it took forever for it to crack, to start cracking. You know, it lasted a lot longer than some of the clear see-through plastic stuff did. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Now, Neil, is that a dual battery or single? Because the one I saw, and I assumed it was kind of new, was the dual. Well, it definitely could, Adrian. I mean, they could run into the same problem that the Pulse had. Oh, it's a dual. Okay. Well, I don't know why I thought this one was new. I'll have to go back and look at that video. Maybe they just got around to reviewing it or something. I don't know. I thought it was a new, just came out thing. But I did, Adrian, if I'm not mistaken, of course, I hadn't looked on the ones I saw reviewed. None of them were the clear plastic, the translucent. None of them were made out of that. They were all opaque colors. And from me dealing with a lot of resins, machining them and whatnot, it is a world of difference between the ones that are opaque and the ones that are translucent. You see through Kool-Aid looking things, whatever you can call them. But when it comes to machining them, there is a big difference between just the color. And you can actually feel it on your tool. Of course, all my stuff's by hand. I'm holding my tools, when I'm doing the machining, and it's not in a tool hole. It's not a metal lathe. It's a wood lathe. So you're holding the tool. And if I have some blanks, some resin blanks that have a mixture of an opaque color and a translucent color, let's say, swirled together type thing, I can feel that when I'm cutting it. I can feel when the tool goes from the translucent to the opaque. I can actually feel that. So just the difference in the color makes a difference. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at that video, Neil. I was thinking that was something new for some reason. I'll have to go back and check that out. But that's really, now, that's what I really should start buying, is me some more mods. And give the tanks a rest for the moment, unless something just really catches my eye. Because I'm a little shy of mods at the moment, you might say. I don't have a whole bunch of them sitting up on the shelf. There's a few, not a whole bunch. I've yet to buy a dual 2700. I've yet to get one of those, and I'd like to have one. That sounds like a good price. I'd give $46 for a dual 21700. Yeah, I have to look back at the video, because the video I looked at it was a 21700 R18 650. It came with the adapters, but I'll have to look and see. But that's what I really should start buying, some of those instead of tanks. I got plenty of tanks. Should buy me a few more mods next. Well, what's it called, Neil? You know the name of that one? That might have been the one I was seeing. But I really thought it was a guar with a little bit of input from Matt. Of course, it might have been, and it could have been from Geek Babe. I'll have to check the video, look in my history, see which one was it I watched. I don't even think I got into that, Adrian. I don't recall that. It doesn't surprise me one little bit, but I wasn't aware of that. I didn't get in on those, that drama. It's not hard. It's not hard to get into some drama with Jay Hayes. I'll tell you, it's not hard at all. No, I know the one I watched wasn't an Aegis. Style. I got one of those. It's in yonder. It's a real old one. The old classic dual 18650. And it ain't proof to nothing. Now the one I watched, you kind of had to pay close attention, because they had some kind of rating on it as far as waterproof, some one of those ratings, but it was for the chipset alone. It wasn't for whether it included the screen or not, I don't know. But they made sure they noted in the fine print that the chipset was the only thing that was like waterproof. Now, whether they included the screen or not, I don't know. A lot of them are, all in one little thing. So, now, you remember I've been saying for weeks now that I've been working on repairing and repainting the fascia boards on my house. Okay. Took 2 or 3 weeks working off a ladder, sometimes 20 feet up on the gable end of the house, 20 feet up on a ladder, to get the very peak. I actually have to get on top of the roof, lay down, hang over the edge to paint it. All that time, I didn't get hurt. Not one single time, except for sore muscles from going up and down the ladder so much, Completely done, not injured, not hurt. I go to put the ladder up. Well, one of the ladders. I used several during the process. But I go to put the last ladder up, and it's one of those real fancy ones that will make all these different configurations. And the 2 longer pieces slide into the lower pieces. They don't go on the outside like the old-timey ladders. They actually slide down in. So what am I doing? I'm holding the ladder up. You got to pull these pins out to get the top part to slide down. I'm not paying attention. I pull the pin. Ladder slides down. Guess where this hand is? It's holding on to the ladder. It chopped the back of my hand. I thought it was broke. Felt like it was broke, but I could still move it, and I can still move it today. It's sore as shit, and it's swelled up real bad. But it could have easily been broke. Because, this thing is heavy, and it slammed it. And it's just amazing. I do all the damn work, okay? And at the end, and safely, and then at the end, you're putting your damn equipment up, and you nearly break your damn hand. It's like, damn. I guess that's what happens when you get old. I don't know. I was going to, now yesterday, it wasn't too bad yesterday. And that was when I went down to Stan's. Y'all know Stan. I went down to Stan's house, and we mounted my new tires on my big 1-ton truck on the rear. It's 4 tires on the rear on it. They had come in. FedEx finally brought them in because I bought them online because I got tired of getting bent over at the tire shops from all the goddamn fees, extra add-on fees. Yeah, I got tired of all that bullshit, so I just bought them online. Saved a ton of money. And these are big old 10-ply real tires, not car tires. But anyhow, he has a real tire machine at his house. And so we went down there and jacked it up, zipped them off, and he was changing them. I was putting them back, and we got them all installed. And I probably saved, I'd say, hell, probably $120 just on the fees, Now, I know I got a hell of a pretty good bargain on the tires. They were like 114 or 15 a piece, which was a good price. Better than I could have got at any tire store in town. Anyhow, it didn't bother me too bad yesterday. I was able to do all that. It was sore to the touch on the outside, but I still had full functionality. Last night it got to hurting pretty bad. Just, if I used it, it hurt. It didn't hurt if you just sit there and left it alone. But if I used it, it hurt. But today it's a little sore, not too bad. I could use it a little bit. I was going to go out in the garage and start some new projects on my woodworking, but it's my right hand. It's the one that does, 90% of the work. So we'll just let it rest a little longer. All right, Neil. Thanks for coming by, brother. I know that feeling. I'm just lucky on Wednesdays now. Bowling started back, so on Wednesday nights I don't have to cook supper. Otherwise, I'm the cook, and otherwise I have to do that later in the day. I know what that's like. Definitely know what that's like. But now bowling has started back, so the wife is bowling on Wednesday nights, and I don't have to cook supper. Get a day off. Because I'm not particular on what I eat. I can throw me some sausage and eggs in a skillet, and I'm happy as I can be. That don't take but a minute. But at least I got everything finished. All my little projects. Got the fascia boards done. Got new tires on the big truck. Now all I got to do is just do my little woodworking thing. All right, Mick, have a good day at work, brother. Don't let them get to you too bad. I had to order some more supplies because last weekend at the market, hell, I sold like 10 pins. People were buying them mostly people were buying them for Christmas gifts. And, usually I'll sell maybe one or two on the weekend, but shit, I sold 10 of them. That depleted my inventory pretty good. So, I thought, I had my inventory, big old nice display deal. It was full, and I was thinking I might could just coast out the rest of the year and not have to make no more, but shit, they come and just raided it. So I had to order some more materials to make some more. They hadn't come in yet, luckily. Hopefully my hand will be totally healed up by then. And no, I didn't go to the emergency room, or what hell's that other place called? I don't know, one of those little clinic things or nothing. Get no x-ray bullshit. No. I can still move it. I'm good. And if I couldn't have moved it, then I would have figured I broke a bone. But I can still move it without excruciating pain, so we're good to go. I don't need to pay x-ray tech hundreds of dollars to tell me I didn't break a bone. I don't know about over in the UK, but over here, y'all got a total different system over there, which in my opinion is a hell of a lot better than our system. And over here, one of the scams, and it's a fucking scam. I don't care what people say. I don't care. It's a fucking scam, because when something happens to you and you feel like you've been raped, it's a scam, okay? If you get the feeling that you were raped, it's a scam. Anyhow, over here, anytime you go get an x-ray done, they'll give the x-ray. Your doctor says, okay, let's go have this x-ray. Okay, go get the x-ray. Give it to the doctor. He looks at it. He makes a determination. Okay? But they'll also take that x-ray and give it to this x-ray tech that is supposed to look at it and make a determination and I guess supposedly tell the doctor, well, that's an extra fee. Well, really? I didn't sign up for this. You know, the doctor wanted to look at the x-ray. But you'll get a bill from this x-ray technician. Or they call them, maybe call them something else. But anyhow, it's a scam. I'm sorry, it's a scam. You know, I can look at a bone x-ray and tell if the damn thing's broke or not. You know, and yeah, okay, I might not see a hairline crack, but guess what? I ain't really concerned if it's a hairline crack. You know, if the thing's broke and there's a gap in between the middle, okay, I'm concerned. And I don't need a 10-year medical degree to realize, hey, that bone's broke. And I don't need to be charged $200 by somebody to say, hey, that bone's broke. Well, no shit, Sherlock. If I offended anybody, I'm sorry. It's very far and few that I even go to the doctor anymore. Because all they want to do over here is milk your insurance company for everything it's worth. That's all they want. That's all they want to do. Yeah, now I will say something. The cherry flavor don't go with coffee. No, it's great on its own. It's great as a dessert because it's so sweet, but it doesn't go with coffee. And also, when I was trying to find a single flavor for my wife, I mixed up some. What did I do? Where's it go? Some just straight raspberry, blue raspberry, just straight blue raspberry. Bumped up I think it was recommended 8%. Now we went on up to 15. A lot of sweetener. And the hand taste on this is fabulous. I hadn't vaped it because, you know, I mixed it for her. I mixed it 14. So, but the hand taste was fabulous on it. And of course, I mixed her up some lemon, and I also mixed her up. Now this one's not a single flavor, so but it's close. It's close. It's the one shot. It's a sugar cookie with supposedly some kind of filling in it that I'd never have tasted. But it's a good sugar cookie, and I mixed in just a hair of butterscotch. And the hand taste on this is fabulous too. But I hadn't vaped it. Like I say, I mixed it for her, so I haven't actually vaped it. But the hand taste was great. But like I say, those were all just almost single flavors, real close to just being single flavor. No real complex ass recipe or anything. And the hand taste was great on all of them. Oh, and I did a strawberry too. Wasn't a single flavor, but it's close. I did regular strawberry and then the ripe strawberry. Mixed those together and sweetener, and that was all. And it tasted great. I don't even know what happened to it. I wonder if she ran off with it. Should be in here. I bet she ran off with it. Maybe she decided that she liked the strawberry better than the lemon. Oh, there it is. There it is. Just in a different spot. There it is. Yeah. Well, I'm lucky, Andrew. The only thing I have, and I can't prove this because even then I didn't go to the damn doctor and get no x-rays, but I'm almost certain I broke some ribs. I don't know how many, one or two, but either cracked or broke. I know I've cracked or broke some ribs, and simply because of how long it took for them to heal. It was like 3 months. And I assumed I broke them because it took so long for them to heal up. But even then, I didn't go to the doctor. I mean, what are they going to do? You know, now if I'd have broke one and it punctured a lung, okay, I'd go to the doctor. But you know, I didn't puncture anything. I didn't have really any internal bleeding or anything like that. Well, what are they going to do? You know, either and it gets back to you research it, and it's like 50% of them say, "Oh, wrap it up tight with ace bandage." Other 50% say, "Oh no, don't do that no more. We don't recommend that. Just take it easy." Basically, just take it easy. Sit in your recliner all day. Y'all need to agree. Y'all are goddamn professionals. You need to agree on this. So anyhow, that was yeah, it's a total different world, and I really think now, 30 years ago, or 30 or more years ago, I would have said that we had the better healthcare system. Now, y'all got the better healthcare system. Okay, it has totally flip flopped. Than it used to be. 30 years ago, I would have said I think ours is probably a little better, but nowadays I think y'all got the better system. I really do. I was over here to get the top notch healthcare. You got to have top notch insurance, and you got to pay for that goddamn insurance. And I mean pay. I don't mean just a little bit taken out of your paycheck. I mean pay out the ass for it. And that then you get or unless you're just filthy rich and you can pay cash. Otherwise, you don't get the top notch. Uh, so now, before long, I will get bent over again because once I get to a certain age over here, they will start making me pay for Medicare, which is a type of insurance, a medical insurance, and they will take it out of my Social Security check without my consent, and they'll give me a little Medicare card. Here, take this. Well, does it cover everything? No. No, you need this supplement, and you need this add-on, and you need this, and you need that, and it costs this much and that much and this much. I don't have a problem with it. The problem I have is they don't give me an option. They don't let me decide if I want it or not. They just automatically deduct it. Once I get 65, they'll just automatically deduct it out of my Social Security check, which I still hadn't got yet. But we're on the countdown. I figure about 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and I should get my first one. I should get my first one. Hopefully, at the moment, everything is supposed to be good to go. Everything is supposed to look fine, looking fine. And of course, they hadn't given me no exact date yet, but somewhere around 3 weeks, I'm supposed to get my first one deposited into one of my bank accounts. And we'll see. We'll see. But in a few years then, see, right now I'll get the full amount. And in a few years, when I turn 65, then they'll start deducting the Medicare part out. And I have no say-so over it. And that's what bothers me. Of course, I'm now, Andrew, am I right in thinking that didn't they have some type of tax? It may not have been specifically for the healthcare system, but I mean they did tax your paycheck, right? And supposedly that's where some of the money went to that for that. I don't know what they called it over there. Because we got two things over here that we have no say-so on, and that's income tax and Social Security tax. Theoretically, if you live long enough, you'll get the Social Security back, because that's what they're going to start giving me back here, and supposedly in about 3 weeks. And but the income tax, you just throw that money up a hog's ass, and, slap it and watch him run into the woods, because that money's gone, ain't coming back. You ain't gonna see nothing from it. It's supposed to do this, this, and this, and shit. Yeah, right. Tell that to somebody that votes Democrat. National insurance toward our health care. Okay, and that's deducted straight out of your check, right? When you get a regular paycheck. And I guess I hadn't heard nothing, seen a video about, I guess Vic is sickly again. Hadn't seen nothing from him. About got to the point had a hard time when he was talking about all his ailments. I was kind of having a hard time listening to all that. Yeah, pay as you earn. Yeah, that's about the same as over here. They just, except, until you get over here, until you get 65, you don't get the national version. I guess you could call Medicare our national insurance type thing. You have to have over here until you get to be 60. If you're under 65, you got to do the commercial insurance if you want insurance. Now, back in the day, when we were a free country, the pre-Obama days, and when our country was still free, if you wanted insurance, okay, you went and bought insurance. If you didn't want insurance, okay, that's fine. You didn't have to buy any. You and the hospital settled up on the bill. You paid cash. You made payments. You did whatever, or you just stiffed them and they haunted you for 20 years on the bill. And then here comes our good President Obama bebopping along, and oh yeah, everybody needs health care. Got to have it. And it was amazing. They took it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court failed us. Our Republican judges on the Supreme Court failed us completely, the common free living folk in America, because they knew it was illegal for him to do that. But they dug and they dug and they dug and they found a loophole that none of Obama's people or any of those people that wanted that shit, none of them had found this loophole. And the Supreme Court actually did their own digging, dug it up, and said, okay, we'll call it a tax. He can do that. He has the lawful ability to tax your ass. But he doesn't have the ability to force you to buy insurance. But he does have the ability to tax your ass. So it's going to be a tax. And, you know, the amazing part was the Supreme Court, which ain't supposed to do that. They're supposed to just rule. Okay, he can do this, he can't do that. They're not supposed to come up with a goddamn solution. That's not their job. That is not their job. It's not in the Constitution that is their job, but they did it. Like I say, they failed us. They failed us completely. And, you know, that's the way it is. So now, you know, like I say, now we have we have communist states, we have free states, and we have semi-heebie-sheebie states, somewhere in the middle, okay? So that's the shape we're in now. And I didn't watch the debates the other night, well, on the presidential candidates. I think they were all Republicans. I don't know. I didn't watch them. I'd rather watch Japanese anime on YouTube than watch those fucking clowns. Okay, but I wish they would reformat their debates when they have that many people. You know, a bunch of them. When they got, let's say you got a dozen on stage. Let's reformat this. Okay, here's the deal. And we got a panel of independent. It's gonna be hard to find. Panel of independent judges. Okay, it's like a game show. Got your judges down here, you know, in the front, and you got your narrator, whatever the hell they call it, the person in charge running the show. Okay, so they ask the candidates a question. Candidate number one. Here's the question. Okay, if he dodges the question, if he hem-haws, if he even hesitates for so many seconds, the judges down here front, they decide, they hit a buzzer. Man, you're out. You're gone. And you're gone. You leave the stage. You're out of there. The game's over for you, buddy. You're gone. Okay? I think that would be just entertaining as hell. And no softball questions. These all got to be real questions. You know, no softball. It wouldn't do for me to be one of those asking the questions. You know, because one of my first questions would have been, what is your position on the side effects of the C vaccinations? Now, if you're going to run for president of the United States, you best have an answer for that, a real one, okay? If you don't know, buzzer, man, you're gone. If you hem-haw, buzzer, man, you're gone. You know. Now, granted, the show you might have to ease into the questions a little bit, because if you got too carried away, if you hit one of them hard questions at first, they'd all be gone. You wouldn't have no show left. The show would be over in 15 minutes. So you might have to regulate their questions and give them some softball at first. And what happened to my camera? Oh, I know what happened. It got confused, lost its focus. Come on, focus. It got confused with my hands. Maybe it'll come back. There it comes. There it comes. Yeah. Hand movement's got the autofocus screwed up. Anyhow, I think that would just be entertaining as hell. But I know they ain't never gonna do that. Yeah, Andrew, that would work. You could have a shock collar. That's how they train dogs over here. Put a little collar around their neck, and it's like a little mini remote control taser. Works wonders too. It's how we used to. I never did it, but people I hunted with, that's how they would train their hunting dogs. Bird dogs were the worst. Those were the ones that were the hardest to train. Is because you'd be out hunting quail, and a rabbit would jump up, and the dog would take off after the rabbit. Which, to a dog, that's really hard to not do. I mean, I understand it completely, but that wasn't what you wanted the dog to do, And but the collars worked great for that, because you would you either had a whistle. They recommended a whistle so you knew the dog heard the warning, and you would like blow the whistle a couple of times. If he was still after that rabbit, you hit the button, and it would just the dog would just kind of fold up right there and go rolling through the grass. But it actually worked. It did. It worked very well too. But that would work too. You could do that instead of kicking them off the stage. You could hit the shock collar. I'd be interested to know if you went with either format. I would be interested to know how many of them would still show up for the debate. That would be interesting. Yeah, we're almost done, Neil. Hell, we've done dove off into politics. We did quite a bit of vaping on today's show. I think we did more than we've done in a while. But yeah, we've done run out of vape stuff. We've dove off into politics now. It's a dark and dingy, stinky rabbit hole. Just need to fill that rabbit hole in with some cement and roll on. No, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to go there. We ain't going to do the religion thing. Good possibility. I'd piss way too many people off if we went down that rabbit hole. Only reason I dare talk about politics is I think most of the people that like me and like my channel are probably more Republican leaning, right wing, right side leaning type people. So, I'm sure if there were any true blue Democrats, why they'd be watching me to start with, I don't know, but might piss them off. Yeah, you're right, Neil. They're all crooks nowadays. They basically all turned into crooks. You know, all turned into crooks. And a good friend of mine, and I couldn't understand it. I didn't even know it for years and years and years. A real good friend of mine up there in Kentucky. Uh, Me and him are on the our opinions on everything are the exact same page, exact same paragraph, same line. We're there. We are identical on every opinion, except when it came to Republican or Democrat. And the reason why I had to ask him, and I delve into it because I couldn't believe, because he was basically a Democrat, and he didn't like Republicans. And um, uh, but I dug into it. I found out why, and it was because, of course, I hadn't been in Kentucky that long, and I definitely didn't get into the politics, Kentucky state politics there, at all. And come to find out, the reason he didn't like Republicans is because they had had some very crooked Republicans in the past, and it put a very bad taste in his mouth. And I don't blame him one bit. You know, crook's a crook. Doesn't matter whether they're Republican or Democrat. You know, they're a fucking crook. They're just using the term to get elected so they can, screw somebody out of some money. But that was the reason why. Because like I say, on everything else, we were, just exactly lined up on all our opinions. And of course we're still good friends, even if I don't care. Because we could have been brothers. And but that was why. It was because earlier in that state, before I even moved there, they had some real crooked Republican uh, uh, officials in charge, and that was why. Yeah, Trump. See, Trump he just did the vape ban thing because somebody told him to. I don't think he had an actual dog in the hunt. I think his wife probably whined at him because their little kid got a vape pen or some bullshit like that, and it kind of gets back to that old same, what I always said way back when, and got a lot of flack for it. When they come up with all that advocacy stuff on vaping, that, oh, we vape, we vote. Yeah, okay. Give me a number. Yeah, that number ain't high enough, son. Sorry. That's reality. Uh, they can jiggle the numbers and totally erase your little thing. But yeah, Trump I think he did that because his wife whined at him for doing it, and he didn't really care. I don't think, like I say, he didn't have a dog in the hunt. He didn't really care one way or another about vaping. So, if she wanted it banned, okay. Yeah, you're right, Adrian. It's you're right on that. That's a really good saying. It doesn't matter who's driving the cart. If that some bitch is headed off the cliff, it really don't matter who's driving the damn thing. If they ain't got sense enough to turn it, you're just as screwed. And yeah, and it's like Neil. It's like him listening to Fauci. You know, he thought that was probably the best route to go. The best decision to make was listen to somebody that was supposedly an expert. And turned out, yeah, he wasn't. Turned out he had dealings, under the table, behind the door, and all this kind of bullshit. But, when when you're a president, you're supposed to be able to trust your advisors, and they're supposed to be, doing a good job of advising you. obviously, we can see it doesn't happen. You know. But anyhow, that was the worst thing he ever did. I didn't care about the fake mail thing that much, but didn't really affect me personally. But the only thing that he did wrong for me was to trust Fauci. That was the only thing he did wrong. Otherwise, and deep down, I don't know that Trump is a Republican or a Democrat. He's a businessman. I think deep down at the core, that's what you would find. And he did a fairly decent job, I think, on most other things, and he definitely upset the apple cart quite a bit, because look at what they're doing now. Look at the extent of effort they're putting forward to try to keep him from running again. So he's scared the piss out of them, because otherwise they wouldn't put forth this much effort. Yeah, he did like Twitter. Of course, I guess, I don't know. I'm not a big Twitter fan, but I do have Twitter. I do look at it every now and then, but yeah, he was using that as a vote getter. That was his vote getting, one part of his deal. Well, hell, Neil, I have I have trouble with the autocorrect, but the worst trouble I have is when I try to do the voice to text thing. I'll have to go back and correct in one sentence. I'll have to go back and correct 4 words, because my phone didn't have a damn clue what the hell I was trying to say. Well, guys, we have rambled on for over an hour and a half. I think we're going to bring the curtain down today, because we have run out of vape stuff. We've had to dive off into politics. So thanks for everybody that came in chat. Thanks for everybody that's watched and didn't come in the chat. Thanks for watching the replay, if that's what you're watching. Remember, you can always post a comment on the replays, just like a review for me. I'll read them and reply and whatnot. And hopefully we'll get our 2 new tanks tomorrow, and we'll have some more. I'm not going down that rabbit hole, deal. I'm not. Hopefully we'll have some new reviews, and I will be doing the premiere thing again. And unless something changes, it'll be, I don't know what day. It's not a particular day, but I'll try to do them at 1 o'clock at the same time as the show, same time as the live show. And we'll have some more of them to do. So have a good afternoon, a good morning, a good night, depending on where you're from. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see you later.